Welcome into another edition of our Wildcat Weekly. I'm super excited to be joined by Andy Keller, the head coach for the men's and women's Nordic ski teams at Northern Michigan. Andy, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, pleasure to be here.
So I know you have had one competition so far this season. Before we get to what transpired in that competition, let's talk about preparing for a season, because I'm very interested to know just how your student athletes get ready for a season, especially when the snow is not on the ground just yet.
Yeah, obviously weather has not been on our side this year. It hasn't been a typical UP winter. But our student athletes are professionals. They train 8 months out of the year, not doing the sport that we do in the winter. So it's just the same old that they are doing most of the year anyway. So running, roller skiing, which is the closest thing that we can get to doing the actual thing. So yeah, we just try to do the best that we can, know that we're still getting in a great workout, but yeah, just keeping our fingers crossed that we do get to do the real thing sooner than later. So.
Awesome. So you recently went to Duluth, Minnesota to compete in the Solomon Cup. Talk about just how that went for your student athletes. You had some success there and something to build on as you move on towards through your season.
Yeah, it was honestly probably the best outcome that we could potentially ever have had. Taking home 3 of the 4 titles of the weekend, sweeping the podium on Sunday in both men's and women's. Honestly, we were just going into the weekend trying to get experience. We've only had 5 days on snow, so expectations were open. It was really just a test event for us to see where we were at. I knew we were in good shape. We had been doing really well in practices all fall, so I had confidence that our team could do really well, but to have the weekend that we did was kind of a cherry on top. So yeah, it was an awesome full team performance, so everybody showed up.
So you look to carry that momentum into this weekend. You're going to Cable, Wisconsin for the Cable Cup. Talk a little bit about that event and just your expectations for your team this weekend.
Again, going into it is open expectations. You know, the individuals that might not have had the best races or the races that they were expecting, it's another opportunity for them to put on a bib and, you know, try something different. So again, another test event for us. We're just trying to shake things out as we get into the season. Again, we're still getting used to doing the real thing. So we were down in Cable a couple weeks ago for Thanksgiving camp. So we did ski the courses somewhat. It was only a smaller loop, but so a little bit of practice down there. So we'll be familiar with the area. But yeah, just another weekend to test things out, try things new, and yeah, hopefully get some more good results.
Just looking over your schedule, you are traveling a lot throughout your season, but in January you do host the NMU Invite, and that's happening in Ishpeming at the All-Qual recreational area. Just talk about that event and just the opportunity to host an event and get out on the trails here in the UP.
Yeah, so it's always nice to host something at home. You know, there is a little bit of thing called a little bit of home course advantage. You know, trails that we're used to ski on regularly. So it's just an opportunity to try to bring home some good results on home soil. So yeah, it's always a familiar place for us to race, and typically is one that treats us pretty well.
Do your teams have any goals set, expectations where you could say, if you reach this point, this will be a successful season?
You know, we're trying to send a full team to NCAAs again. Last year we missed that mark. It's 3 men, 3 women that you're allotted to send to NCAA championships. So to get back to that point, I think is a team goal of sending full rosters to the championships. You know, I think individually taking home, you know, team awards, being a full team of being able to compete and take home team awards. Just know that we're a full, well-rounded team that can compete on every weekend is also a big thing too, because it's nice having the full group being able to to produce results and not just a few individual people.
You speak about the individuals. Who are some names that are expecting to have some a big season for your teams, men's and or women's?
Yeah, so for returners on the men's side, we have Adrian Crafson, who won an event this past weekend. He's coming back from mono last year, kind of cut his season short. He qualified for NCAAs but couldn't go because of his illness. So he'll be returning to full strength, obviously. The signs are pointing well. Christopher Karsrud, who was on our NCAA team last year. And then this past weekend, newcomer Mathias Haugen from Norway was a podium individual last year, so he should be able to contribute a big amount. On the women's side, Merla Richter is our top returner. She was on our NCAA team last year as well. She won the sprint this past weekend and was second in the classic. We have a transfer from a school in Minnesota. She made the NCAA tournament for her team, so she's a strong skier for us. And then our winner on Sunday for the women was Lauren McCullough, who looks to make a big jump this year. So she's having a really good season and should be able to produce good results for us.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Andy. Obviously, good luck this weekend and then beyond as we head into 2024 as well.
Thank you so much.
We'll be right back with more Local 3 news in just a few minutes.